Bob Isillo coming at you with my first ever Blender and Unity tutorial. Hope it helps you. I've struggled a lot over the past few months trying to learn Blender, followed a lot of tutorials, uh, keep trying to push myself, trying to learn new things. Haven't figured out how to do this until recently, trying to get a logo on a mesh and UV unwrapping. It's been frustrating, and this is the best method I've found for getting something into Unity at the lightest weight, best performance. So hope this helps you. I haven't seen anyone really go into this. I kind of mixed a couple things. So we're going to add the 11 onto the 11 ball here. First thing is we're going to go into edit mode. We're going to choose these two faces there, those four faces. We're going to create a new material. We're going to call it the 11 ball. We're going to assign it. From there, we're going to go into UV editing. We're going to unpack it. Right click, unwrap faces, unwrap. We're going to bring in a new number, ball number 11. You can see just in a photo editor with layers, I was able to create just uniform numbers by, you know, cutting and pasting the proper font size. And this way I was able to create, a uniform size that I could import into Blender. From here, just have to adjust these. From there, shading. You can see I'm going to get rid of these. For the 10 ball I already did, I already have these nodes selected. So I'm going to copy them and I'll show you what I did. On the 11 ball, whenever you have a new material, you're going to have a principal BSDF and material output. What I did was add in an image texture and a mix shader here, mix node. And what we're going to do, first thing, we're going to grab the hex value from this red color. Let's go back to the 11 ball. We're going to change the hex value here to that color. We're going to actually bake this into this transparent layer here. That's why we're using the mix. So the number, we're going to open up the 11 ball just like we did on the UV editor. You're going to attach color here, alpha to the factor, and keep that other color, the red that we just changed it to. We're going to add in, do Shift A, add in an image texture. We're going to do new. Now I'm keeping these lightweight, so normally it would be 1024 for a texture file. I'm just cutting them down, um, in the appropriate numbers. It would go 512 or 256 just to make it smaller. A lighter weight will come out to about 40 kilobits. And we're going to call this like 11 ball. Okay. We're going to go to render, cycles, under bake, set it to diffuse for bake type, uncheck direct and indirect, click bake. When you do that, this will be up here. This asterisk next to the image means it's not saved. Save as. 11 ball bake, save as image. Go back to the layout, and there it is. On the UV editing, a cool feature here, you could have many different type logos or images you want to apply to a mesh. You could choose, if you had like a snake, for example, you could choose the mesh and you could apply it and you could scale it. You can make things smaller or larger. So pretty cool little feature there. Uh, but once you've baked that now and you've selected the submesh in that will appear in Unity. So you'll have the mesh and then you'll have the submesh, and that's how it will be applied. One important thing here on the shading, I already had this set, but you want to make sure that you you want to bake the roughness and the metallic to the same settings as the color that you're trying to match. Otherwise, you'll have a difference in the shade factor, so it'll be off. It won't be as smooth, for example. Will be very noticeable. So we've baked this texture file. We have the layout here. You see the scale's a little bit off, so on the object we're going to apply scale. We're going to export the selected as an FBX. Selected objects. Z is forward, Y is up, because we're importing into Unity. Apply transform. If you have animations, I don't think you can apply transforms, but we don't actually have animations, so we're okay. We're going to save ball 11, export. Now in Unity, we're going to import new asset. We're going to import ball 11. Bake conversion. You're going to see this rotate when we bake this here. Apply. We're going to extract. These three materials. Extract from prefab. Go to materials. Select folder. We're going to drop this ball in here. Let's go to materials. On the ball, we're going to replace, look at the color of this white. Unity likes to change the hex values, which is why when we copied the hex values, so you see how they changed the hex values for this white versus that imported white? So, because I already changed it in another ball. So I'm going to change the white to the other ball material I already made. The red 3, same thing. You see how the previous 3 is a different color? Just slightly. It changed the hex value. So I already previously changed this by opening this up and copying the hex value from Blender so it matches the baked texture that we made. So on the 11 ball, we're going to use our other red, and we're going to import the 11 ball bake. You can see it's only 15 kilobytes, 256 by 256. We are going to add that to this material, putting it up in the albedo. And this here, you have to change up here to the top left in order to change that shade. See how it was before? Pull that up. Now those shades will match of what you baked and the hex value of the color you set in Unity. Why Unity changes, I don't know. But now you have a very lightweight FBX with very lightweight materials versus if you shrink wrap an image that's a couple hundred kilobytes plus it's an extra submesh, and it's actually an extra mesh that's child to the parent, and then you got two things moving on multiple objects. I think this is the best way to do this for performance that I've seen. Unity tends to be finicky with physics, so I think whenever you can bake the texture into the object and keep it to a single mesh, or in this case there's a submesh, it's by far the best way to do it that I found. Hope that helps.